Guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for clicking on this video and welcome to my channel. Or if this is not your first time, thank you for clicking on my videos and thank you for watching my videos. Now, if this is your first time, please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime that I post. Now that I've gotten all the pleasantries out of the way, welcome. Come and sit down, grab your popcorn. We have something to discuss. Well, today I'm going to be talking about things that they don't tell you before you get married. Listen, there are some things that I have seen in this marriage that nobody told me about. My friends did not tell me. My family members did not tell me. Like, I don't understand. Like, when someone is about to get married, I'm expecting that you are going to sit the person down and then have, some conversations and just tell the person like some home truths. Nobody told me anything like that. So I'm going to be talking about the things that nobody told me before I got married. If you guys had told me, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have gotten married, but at least, I would have had a shock absorber when it comes, beam like that. It won't be just beam like that and I'm like reeling over. All right, guys, so I'm just going to get right into it. The first thing that nobody told me about marriage is that I'm going to lose my privacy. Honestly, I am someone that really enjoys her privacy. Back in my father's house, I would stay in my room I can be in my room from like morning till night, watching movies, just, doing my thing. And my mom would come once a while and like open my door and like, are you still here? What are you doing? And all that. And it was pretty normal for me. It was really, really normal for me. And it was something that I always enjoyed doing. I just loved my personal space. But as soon as I got married, all that just flew out of the window. Like, first thing, you're spending a lot of time in the same space with the same person. You're sharing a room with this person who is your spouse, who is your husband. Let me talk like, please, who is your husband? Your clothes are in the same space, your shoes are in the same space, your makeup is in the same space, your toilet and everything is just in the same space. And it really isn't easy if you are used to having your personal space where you keep all your stuff and where nobody touches your stuff. Before you go and come back, someone must have moved your hairspray from table A to cabinet B, and then you're just all over the place looking for your hairspray. Before you come back, someone had used your power bank without recharging it. All these kind of things are what is to cause problems in marriage. And honestly, I had to adjust. I really had to adjust to the notion of having someone else in my space every time. I really had to adjust to the notion of having someone move my things without asking me. Maybe he's just trying to help me, but I wouldn't see it like, because I like to see my things where I left them, but that might not be happening. But aside from all these petty things, it's a really deep issue when someone is used to being on their own, like being private, and now you're married, you really have to share your space with this person. If you can devote another room in the house. If you have the luxury of having more than one room as a newly wedded couple, you can devote another room in the house to keeping your personal effects, because that's what I'm doing now. I have another room in the house where I keep my personal effects, where I know that whenever I come back, my shampoo will still be where my shampoo is meant to be. My conditioner will still be where my conditioner is meant to be and all that stuff. So if you are that kind of person that likes his or her privacy, make sure that you find another space in the house if you can to keep your things. That's like a solution to this problem. The second thing that nobody told me about is finances. Guys, when it comes to finances and marriage, is a really, really deep issue. You need to learn that once you get married, your finances are merged. I know that for some marriages, it's not like that. They are very, very secretive about their finances. The husband doesn't tell the wife what comes in, and the wife doesn't tell the husband how much she's earning. But I feel like if both of you are responsible when it comes to money, it's not an issue to open up to your spouse about how much you're earning, because of course the other person does not want to like squander your money. There's nothing like we take cash for squander, you know. You two are planning for the future, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, for even the nearest future, like when you have kids, because having kids is expensive. It's really, really costly to have children. So finances is very important, and I'm not saying that nobody really told me about finances. I wouldn't lie about that, but what we know when it comes to finances when you're getting married is that, you know, when you go out, your husband will take care of the bills, you know, the husband will take care of the bills in the house. But these days, it doesn't work like that anymore, baby girl. You cannot wait for your husband to come back from wherever he is, or you call your husband to tell him, hello, there's no salt, there's no this, there's no that, you know, the pipes just burst. You need to take charge of the house, pending when your husband comes back, depending on the kind of arrangement that you guys have. So for me, I have my salary coming in. I've got my 9 to 5. I hope that this YouTube channel starts to make me cool bucks very soon. But at the present, I have my 9 to 5, and my money, should I be talking about my money right now? But my money, I can use my money to take care of things in the house pending when my husband comes back. So when I talk about finances in marriage, there's a lot of planning that goes on in a marriage. You guys have to plan for the future. You guys have to, you know, plan if you're buying a house in the next 10 years or in the next 5 years, you know, how many cars you're going to have as a family, how many children, what kind of schools will your children attend, where would you be living? Would you be living in a high-brow area, a mid-priced area, or a low-priced area, depending on the salary, on the income of the family. When I was single, yeah, my income, I really didn't think about, you know, my income like being a part of a bigger picture. Okay, it was just like, okay, I have my income, I can save this percentage, I can keep this percentage for transport to work, I can keep this percentage for squander, I can keep this percentage for investment. But now when you are in a family, you have to think bigger, and a long-term plan has to come into it. And guys, it's really not easy, because there are lots of things that you want to do, there are lots of things that you want to buy, but you cannot buy because your money, or the finances of the family and the financial health of your family, is dependent on you. That's quite a lot of responsibility, honestly. So as a single person, your mom will give you, your dad will give you, you have uncles that you can cry to, if you have older siblings, you can cry to them, they can give you money. But once you get married, everybody's like, go and meet your husband. Go and meet your husband. And chilling out with the girls is more expensive, because when you chill out with the girls, you have to split the bill, or you have to pay for your own meals. But when you chill out with your husband covers the whole bill. So you have to use your sense. You have to use your sense. You have to use your sense. So yeah, finances. It's really steep. It's really broad. I really can't start talking about finances in full in this video when it comes to marriage and finances. Like, I need to have a separate video for that. But let me just move right ahead. Now, the third thing that nobody told me about marriage is that you have to constantly put up with the excesses of your partner. Honestly, guys, when I am pissed off with someone, I want to just, you know, get out of there. I just want to be out of that space and give myself some time to clear my head and then come back and be reasonable. But in marriage, it's really difficult to do that. I know that some people would say when you're angry with your spouse, you can like leave the house and then you come back later and you guys can sort it out. But sometimes it can't be. You cannot be angry with your spouse at 2 a.m. and you are leaving the house. Where are you going to? Do you want them to, do you know what you're doing? You cannot leave the house. You have to be in the house, and you have to keep seeing this person that is annoying you. You really have to put up with the excesses of your partner, and you have no excuse to be unreasonable. Like, you really have no excuse to be unreasonable. You have to keep up with their excesses, the things they like, the things they don't like, the things that you like, the things that you don't like. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, honestly. And nobody told me, oh, nobody decided to. It can't. You know that you can whisper into my ear. You can actually, if you cannot whisper, you can send me a WhatsApp message. But no, you did not send me a WhatsApp message. You cannot even call me and tell me that, hello, this is what you might see. You did not send me text message. You did not send me WhatsApp message. Okay, why didn't you email me? You would have emailed me. Oh my God, you would have emailed me, because I needed to know, because I'm someone that really, I just don't want to be in the space where I'm getting upset. When I'm upset and I know that there is the causative agent of that anger is in the middle. I don't want to be in that. I want to be out of there. But it doesn't work like that. You have to put up with the excesses of your partner. Marriage is fun, honestly. It is serious fun when you are with the right person. But when you are with the wrong person, it can be terrible. So just imagine that you are with someone who is emotionally abusive or physically abusive. You really can't escape from that abuse at certain times of the day or at certain times of the night because of your safety. So you have to make sure that when you are getting married, you are making the right decision, you are making the right choice with your brain opened. Listen, when you're about to get married, forget about your heart. Honestly, forget about your heart. Forget about what your heart is saying and how your heart is pulling you towards one person that your head is telling you is abusive. Don't fight with your brain. Your brain is always correct. If your brain is right, when you want to get married, use your brain. Don't use your heart. Don't use your heart. You're going to make a lot of mistakes if you decide to marry using your heart. The next thing about marriage that they didn't tell me is that some people will be talking inside the marriage. They want to be inside it. You know, when they were doing the exchange of vows, only you and your husband were there for better, for richer, in health, until what? Death do you part. You both of you were in front. Nobody came to stand in front with you people. But immediately the marriage starts to go, some people will now start entering inside. From the east. Then they enter from the west. Then they enter. If you know the way I used to bat people, will you go? Will you find your square roots? Honestly, you need to make sure that when you are married, you resist the pressure of people trying to interfere in your marriage, because it's going to cause you a lot of problems if you allow people from outside, other people, family members, friends, you know, to interfere in your marriage. Your marriage should be between yourself and your husband. No other opinions are entertained. We don't want to hear it. Sis, auntie, uncle, I did not ask you. So I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear whatever you have to say. Keep it in your pockets. Keep it in your pocket. Honestly, you need to ward them off, because you definitely will have unsolicited opinions, and you have to deal with those unsolicited opinions. Some of them come as a direct attack to you, while some of them come as an attack to your husband. So you really have to deal with those interferences. Some people mean well, while some people do not mean well. And because you cannot sit down and start saying, oh, this, and start analyzing who means well and who doesn't, do not entertain that. Do not allow. And the same people that will tell you on your wedding day, don't let third party enter your marriage. Don't let another person talk to you about your marriage. There's some people that would now be bringing in problems for you. So you have to really, really ward them off. I've had to really learn quickly how to make sure that nobody else feeds me with crazy ideas about myself, my spouse, or my marriage in general, okay? Now that leads me to the next thing, which is in-laws. I've been so blessed to have great in-laws. Like, nobody disturbs me. Nobody bothers me. Nobody disturbs me. But sometimes, you know, either from your side, even as a wife, and from your husband's side, you might have some friction with your in-laws. Because the honest truth is that you are the only one that loves your husband. Now, I'm talking about when you are having interferences or your in-laws from your own side. You have to remember that you are the only one that loves your husband. Your husband's family, they love your husband like their brother, their sister, sorry, their brother, their nephew, you know, their uncle. But your family members do not love your husband like that, as a family member and as a husband. I hope you understand where I'm. Just stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Stay with me. Stay with me. Don't go. I'm going somewhere. Don't leave me. I'm getting there. I'm getting somewhere. Now, when you have issues in your marriage and then you now take those issues to your family, definitely they're never going to support your husband, because the way you have crafted the story, the way you've added mayonnaise, you now added ketchup, now added pepper, that shawarma will be sweet. So the way you dish out the drama, they will know, they would have no choice than to support you, which is really bad. You are just dragging down your home with your own hands, okay? Another thing about in-laws is that you should also understand that, as I've said, they love their son. They don't love you the way their son would love you. So when situations arise, when things arise, what you should do, which is something I've learned and I've done it over and over and over again, and it has worked for me, instead of confronting them, fighting them, hey, if you see some in-laws fight, this one is more than Nollywood, though. This one is even more than Bollywood. You know, Bollywood is very dramatic. This one is more than Indian film. The best thing to do, which I have done and I always do, is I do not confront the person in question. I go ahead and tell my husband, this is what this person did that I don't like. Now, my husband will go and tell the person, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why did you? Mind you, my husband is not the firstborn. He's not the secondborn. He's not the thirdborn. So you can't say, oh, maybe because he's the firstborn, so other people respect him and maybe they're giving. No, it's not like that. So we're like, oh, my wife's, this is something I did to my wife and she didn't like it. Like, can you explain? Maybe there is something, you know, people have different perceptions, and when the person explains, or the person can even come and apologize to you. Oh, I didn't know that what I did, that you didn't like it. You know, you didn't like it. Oh, I'm sorry, this is what I meant, and all that. It will save you a lot of stress. I'm telling you, it will save you a lot of stress. Same thing for my husband. If somebody on my side offends him, he would tell me and I'll go and tell the person. Because the way I would say it to the person, that person won't feel as offended if my husband comes on to tell. What the person will say is that, he told his wife told me that this, she told me that, da. It's better like that. Hate me. Because you cannot hate me forever. You will still come back to love me. You will still come back to love me. Do you get? So when it comes to dealing with in-laws, you have to be really tactical. You have to be very calculated so that things will not happen and you find yourself out of your house. If you are here and you know that you have not had a conversation. No, let me say it again. If you are here and you know that you have not had a conversation about your past with your spouse, raise your hand. Raise it where, help you to push the hand. Put hand for the elbow, put your hand up. Really, guys, you have to have had a conversation about your past with your spouse. And when I'm talking about having a conversation about your spouse, I'm not saying, come, sit down, let's have a conversation about our past. I think that during the period of dating, you guys are getting to know each other. You know, there are some conversations that can come up, and you just find a way to add your past into all these conversations, because there are some things that are actually deal breakers for people, and because he did not know or she did not know before you guys got married, if that person gets to know about this, like that thing, when you guys are married, it could cause a lot of problems for you. It could cause a lot of problems for you, because at the end of the day, a person would be like, if I had known, I wouldn't have married this person. If I had known, I wouldn't have married that person. The past does not define who anybody is, according to me. But you need to talk, because people are different. For me, I don't think there's anything I'll hear about my husband today that I would say, oh, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. This is something that he has done in his past, and he's no longer doing that thing. Do you understand? So for me, it's different. I can say, I would definitely not care. I don't even want to know. You understand? But some people, they begin to hold it against you and begin to, you know, make it bigger than you think it is. And before you know it, the marriage is in crumbles, is in shambles. It is scattered, it's done, it's over. It's over. So I think that this is something that I'm putting in, not because I did not know, but because I was doing it without even knowing. And when I got to know, even in marriage, I was grateful that I did it, because there's nothing about me that my husband doesn't know. There is no major story of something that happened in my life that he doesn't know about. Do you understand? So it's not a problem, and it will never be a problem. But if you know that you have not been telling your spouse things about your past, that you know that they can come back to haunt you, you know that they can, maybe you have a child, hey. The way I entered that child, maybe you have a child, and you kept the child in your mother's house, and the child is calling you auntie instead of mommy, and then you are married and you've not told your husband. When I go to, should I tell him? No, you want me to come and tell him? You want me to come and tell him that you have a child that's calling you auntie in your mother's house? Or brother, you want me to come and tell her that you have a son, in London with the baby mama, and you've not told her yet? Don't be wicked. Tell her. She needs to know. Tell her. So people have pasts in marriage that they need to tell. There are things that you need to tell your spouse. There are things that you need to actually sit your spouse down, and you guys should talk about, or you just bring it up in comfort. Maybe when you guys are doing your TGIF in your house, when you are a bit up there, you can now tell him. So you'll be like, oh, okay, that happened, all right, that's fine. Do you understand? I think that the past of either parties can either make or mar the marriage. Now, when your partner is sure and secure that there's nothing about you that he or she doesn't know, then, you know, there are no surprises and you guys are just smooth sailing. But if there's something so important and so big that your partner doesn't know, you would, even you that have the past, you'll be constantly living in fear and constantly trying to cover up that part of your life, which I don't think there's anybody that wants to live like that. Okay, so let me just add one bonus thing. If you're an extrovert and your spouse is an introvert, nobody told me that, you know, sometimes the extrovert might try to grab up the introvert, or the introvert might try to push down the extrovert, you know. Different personalities, different family background just comes in, you know, to merge, and it can either form, you know, a good potpourri of cultures, of behaviors, of emotions, or it can cause a blast. And then nobody is seeing eye to eye in the relationship anymore, or in the marriage anymore. So that's why it's very important. I know there are people that would say, oh, we met and 2 weeks later we're married, and we're married and this is our 1 year anniversary. Oh God. There are people that actually met like that and have been married for a long time. But to be on the safe side, I would always advocate for a period of courtship, a period of relationship, where you get to know this person and get to understand this person and get to know that, and get to know if you can actually live with this person or not. That's my own take. That's what I think. Okay. All right guys, we've come to the end of the video. If you liked this video, please click the like button so that I'll know that you liked the video, okay? And do not forget to subscribe. If you are new here, please subscribe. If you are returning, thank you so much. Please turn on the notification bell if you haven't done that already, so that you can be notified every time that I post. And till I come your way next time, stay beautiful guys. I love you.